And then let's fairly briefly talk about product pricing. That's what everybody wants to know, right? How much should I sell it for? And don't let this hold you back because there's no precise formula. There's no definitive answer that's going to get you the correct answer of what your journal should be selling at. The only way to find that out is by selling it and testing different price points, figuring it out as you go along. And the more experience you have in selling products, so you make multiple products, you'll start to realize what the pricing, the right pricing for you is. The way to really get this is from experience, but you can also look at other similar products on your chosen platform. That's important. You can look at it on other platforms or other people's websites, but if you're selling on a platform, really looking at what's happening there because those people are your competition, right? So you want to have an idea of that. People on other platforms are your competition too, but not as directly. Do that research definitely, absolutely on the platform and elsewhere. Pricing of digital versus print. Digital generally commands a lower price than print might. And because it is a physical product they get in their hands. But digital can also be expensive, especially when it's incorporated with training or other things. So it doesn't mean you can't charge premium prices. You just have to position the offer well, which is the next point on the screen. It says value you provide, including any add-ons. Maybe you also include a work. Maybe you also include a planning, some kind of planner or something, or you do training, or you do a live session, or you do a fill-in session where you're filling it in and they're filling it in, or you demonstrate it being filled in. That's one thing that I think people really like to see is that they're not really sure sometimes how they should fill things out or how they can think about the topic. But if you can create an example of your journal that's filled out and you can walk people through it, they will be inspired by that and try to figure out how to use it and they'll feel more empowered to use it. So those are things that you can add value added. That could be a recording that they watch. You could maybe do it live the first time and then you have some extra when you launch. It could be a live training. So you actually have an extra thing that's going to make people want to buy your journal right away. Your brand positioning, just like who are you a premium journal seller? Are you just totally matters who you are approaching? Remember, we talked about too, like how the spending habits or how these people spend money. If you're targeting a more frugal audience, you will have to keep that in mind. If you're targeting people who are CEOs or very successful entrepreneurs making 8 figures or more a year, you're going to be able to charge way more than someone who is maybe just starting their business or they're wanting to become a CEO. That plays into how much are they willing to pay, which is the next point. And also your profit margin. For printed products, you definitely have a cost and you're going to think about that and figure out what makes sense in that regard. Even with digital products, there is still things to consider like the processing fees, any money you might be paying out to affiliates or your customer service, like how much time per customer do you usually do support for? Maybe you're going to have someone help you develop it too. Also, for anybody who doesn't is scared about Canva, you can also hire someone to do the design for you. You can probably find people on Fiverr that can design a journal for you and at a reasonable price. You can also hire very expensive designers if you want. There's always options for you, but those things would be factored into the price that you charge. And so maybe if you do have a lot of expense, maybe it costs a lot. Maybe you're going to print them yourself or something and ship them out because you want to make them custom or something like that for your customers. That's going to be a lot more. But then you can offer extras like the training, those kinds of things that will allow you to charge more. And then you can also spend more on creating your product. But the key thing is to test it out, right? It's always easier to go lower to higher than the other way around. If you charge a high amount and then you're like, oh my gosh, nobody's buying it, I better lower the price. And then your current customers, it's also devaluing your work. But sometimes it happens. And it's happened to us as well, like where you just make the wrong choice and you have to evaluate that way. It's all a learning process. Yes, a custom journal would be much higher prices, and you should definitely factor that into that. And also to value the last point on the bottom there is to remember to value your amazing work, right? This is great stuff. Don't devalue yourself. All right.